I have with me today Eden Bidani, who's a conversion copywriter and messaging strategist for SaaS and tech companies.
Too many ads, they focus just on getting the conversion, just on booking the demo, or just on join the email list or sign up for this, instead of trying to show them we have something really amazing. Often the amazing benefits or the values or the transformation that the product delivers often gets lost along the way in the push for conversion. So just because someone else does something that sounds good as well, it also doesn't mean that it would work for you. And I challenge marketers to actually speak more with their target audience, or at least get as close to the customer as possible, and to try and draw their ideas for their ad themes and variations from them, from what their customers actually like, or what their customers tell them that they enjoy about the product.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode from the Drag and Drop Show by Creatopy. I'm Robert Katai, the Marketing and Communication Manager here at Creatopy, and I have with me today Eden Bidani, who's a conversion copywriter and messaging strategist for SaaS and tech companies. So 7 months ago, Eden wrote and published a LinkedIn carousel talking about social ads that converts. And it sounds something like this. The problem is most social ads are scrolled over and ignored, not because they don't have a good offer or because the creative isn't eye-catching. It's because they simply don't respect what your audience is doing at the time they come across them. So Eden, let's give our audience more context on this topic. What do you think is the most common reason why social ads are ignored by audiences?
I think you just mentioned it right there. The reason is because they're not really respecting what the audience's state of mind is on the current platform that they're using. You know, when people are on social media, it's like anytime people use the internet, why do we pay for ad blockers? Why do we pay premium for apps so that we don't have to see ads, right? It's because ads are disruptive to the user experience on the platform. They're there because someone is paying to put them there in front of your face, but at the same time, that's not why you're there. You're not there to actually see these ads. So the vast majority of ads, they can be amazing. It doesn't, just because someone scrolls past your ad or doesn't convert, it doesn't mean that the ad isn't good. It's just, I think often the approach is that it's trying to drive conversion when the audience is just not in a state of mind to actually convert. So we see a lot of ads, again, that are really pushing for conversion. We don't see often enough ads that are focused on top of funnel or brand awareness or general describing the quality of the product, how it's made, telling the story behind the brand. We see so many ads are pushing for conversion, and that's right, because it takes the payoff from brand awareness to conversions is high. But at the same time, brand awareness gives you, it's a much gentler way of approaching a conversation about conversion, or approaching the idea that's going to lead them eventually to convert. We know that out of any available audiences, maybe 1 to 5% of people are actually looking to buy now. The rest are not in that state of mind. So how can we actually reach those people? It's by making sure that the ads that we have, we can design ads that are for conversion, but that still have a good solid chunk of brand awareness tied into them. And I think just too many ads, they focus just on getting the conversion, just on booking the demo, or just on join the email list or sign up for this, instead of trying to show them we have something really amazing. So it's because often the amazing benefits or the values or the transformation that the product delivers often gets lost along the way in the push for conversion. So it's about finding a much better balance between the two. I think it's really, really important.
It's interesting enough because you wrote in this LinkedIn carousel that the problem is that these ads don't meet their audiences in their current mindset. So, and then for me, it hit that question: how can I know what mindset my audience is having while I'm giving them that ad and I want to connect with them? Because one of the big problems with marketers is that they invest $1 and they want $2 or $3 from their ads. So they need to convert then directly. And we had a webinar with Jonathan Bland about the zero-click ad. And that's a very, very interesting perspective. But that you said that the current mindset that is very different of what the marketers want from the audience versus why the audience is there on that platform. So how do you know what kind of mindset the audience is having?
Absolutely. So first of all, again, if you have an understanding of what their audience's general interests are, there are things that you can do. For example, try to play into their interests as much as possible. So if you know that, again, if you know this audience has a particular that you might not be selling a product for dogs, but maybe you're selling a running shoe, but you know that they have a tendency to like dogs. So you might try to tie in the creative that it has images of dogs and then showing that connection with the product that you have in some way. Or you know that they like popular media, you know that they like Game of Thrones, or you know that they like The Simpsons, or maybe you can use a metaphor or something to tie into something that they actually know and already like. It's really about trying to, first of all, it's not just aligning with their interests, but again, having that understanding of why people use these different social media platforms. Everyone has a very different goal for using LinkedIn versus using Facebook, versus using TikTok, versus using Instagram. There are lots of different reasons that people go to these platforms, but why are people on Instagram and why are people on TikTok? It's again, they want to engage with something funny. They want to learn things. They want to discover new products. So it's really becoming, and that's why you see now TikTok is launching search ads, for example. So people are going there to discuss. It's a real product discovery platform. So to have an ad that's really pushing too hard for conversion is not really going to fly very well with that audience. But to have an ad that's funny, that talks about the benefits of the products or tells a funny story is going to go much better. You know, or that shows them something surprising or tells them or educates them a fact that they didn't know, it's going to perform much better and it's going to help drive more conversions. And that will eventually lead to actual, actual swipes of the credit card rather than trying to push straight for conversion unless you know that the audience is already quite warm. But again, people on TikTok, they go there to discover new products versus LinkedIn. When people are in LinkedIn, a lot of the professionals that people try to reach on LinkedIn, they're looking to learn from peers, to connect with their co-workers, to keep up to date with the industry trends. They're not always looking to get advice about new products or to find products that they can to book a demo for. So you have to actually align with what their professional interests are and what they're actually doing, what their goals are on the platform, to expand their network, to enjoy content. And again, one of the other things is that these people are on these platforms because they want to consume good content. So if you have an ad that that the content of the ad has value in and of itself, that's going to be interesting for people. So even if they don't convert, they learned something new, or they laughed, or it made them smile, or it made them feel something. So at the end of the day, it really made them feel something, and they got value out of the ad even if they didn't actually convert. And those are the kind of ads that you find that they get shared, they get liked, they get comments, they get a lot of positive reactions, and that also does translate into conversions on the back end. So it's really understanding their interest as well as understanding their goals of what they're doing on the platform, and then at the same time trying to align with content, trying to take a real content first approach.
Do you have any examples of companies that have successfully created social ads that convert, or the one that people, the marketer behind that companies understand the mindset of their audience?
I'll give you a great example. So it's a B2B example, not a B2C example in this case, but Metadata did some ads. They ran a bunch of ads, and I think they're still running some of them a while back, where it was their VP of marketing just talking straight to the camera. It looked like an unfiltered TikTok. It was they're running LinkedIn ads, unfiltered TikTok. It was like, "Hi, nice to meet you. This is what you do. This, I just want to tell you a little bit today about some things." Like, it felt completely authentic, natural. It was content based. It wasn't a pitch. It was like, I just want to share something interesting with you. And they've been running it for a really long time. And I've read posts again from their marketing team that have said this ad has been performing really, really well for them. It's been drawing a lot of attention and getting a lot of positive feedback as well. So I think, again, it's flipping. So it doesn't have to, for example, in LinkedIn, we think because the audience is higher, maybe the ad needs to be more polished, where in fact, people are on there on LinkedIn to engage with peers and to meet and connect and network with people. So if you show more real people, it's going to be easier for them to connect with with someone, not just the person at the company, but then the product and the company or the brand that they represent. So it's actually, it really flipped the idea on its head because we see so overly polished ads. The same in e-commerce, we see ads that the products look absolutely beautiful, and that's fantastic, and that's a point. But then again, when you bring in influencers that match, when you bring in an influencer that matches the target audience and it's someone the target audience identifies with, then you see the pulling power of that becomes much stronger because it's interesting content. They've found someone that they align with. They found something that align with their interests and what their goals are on the platform. They found someone that they're like easy for them to connect with. Very, very, and that's pretty much, that's a good example.
Um, uh, while you were presenting this example, I was thinking about a B2C ad, and Oatly came in my mind. Their out of door advertising, and the way they are using their font and the way they are connecting with the audience. They don't just want to, hey, here are 3 reasons why you should use our product. Here are
Right,
the free benefits. Here is an influencer that is drinking our milk, and now you should drink our milk too, or stuff like that. It's
right,
only
right,
text based, and the way they are connecting with their audience is like they're understanding their current mindset, that while driving there, and you can stop at the red light and read that ad, and you say that, okay, that's interesting. Then when you go in the supermarket and you see that package, hey, that
right.
this product made me laugh, so let's try it, why not? And that's very interesting
Exactly.
because they use that, not, it was a different perspective, different kind of ad. And in that LinkedIn post, you wrote that your ad should respect your audience's attention by talking about them as much possible and less
Mhm.
about your company. And that for me was like, if we as marketers, we we will try to put ourselves in our audience's shoes, and we should understand how to talk about them, not talk about our company. It will change the entire campaign and will also change the entire ad. So that was for me something very interesting. Do you have any
Yeah.
best practices for social ad copywriting that can help, I don't know, increase conversion rates or stuff like that?
I think one of the two of the biggest things that I can recommend marketers do when they're writing ad copy, first of all, is to try and keep the language as simple as possible. It doesn't have to be super polished. Again, they're on social media platforms. The content that's authentic is not super polished. It doesn't use big words. It doesn't sound fancy. It uses a lot of very small, very simple words to get the point across in as clear and as quickly as possible. So sometimes, and I would say that, and I will say this, sometimes that means you need to use more words. Do not be afraid of using longer ad copy if it means that the copy is going to be clearer. Do not underestimate the power of the learn more and the 3 dots that they can click on to actually expand the text of the ad. Do not be afraid that you have to cram everything in 120 characters. It is so powerful to have a message that's expressed simply in more words rather than trying to cram everything because you think that people aren't going to read. So that simple, clear text with a focus on being simple and clear, not worrying too much about the length of the ad copy. Again, it's best to try run short and long ad copy, but not to get too hung up about it. Just make sure that that message is clear. And second is to actually read your copy back out to yourself. Read it out loud. The same way that developers, like, they read their code back to a rubber duck in order to find to find where things went wrong. It's the same thing with your copy. So once you've written something, actually read it back out to yourself, and you will immediately pick up on things like, wait, that sounds weird. That I can actually, that's a pause for, that's where you pause for breath. I could put a period in there and actually start a new sentence. It doesn't have to be one long sentence. Or here I should have a comma. Or here this word doesn't sound natural at all. Switch it out with something else. You can pick up a lot of mistakes that make it makes a lot of ads not feel like ads because it feels very conversational and natural because you've run it through your own editor. Because how someone reads, they're imagining a voice reading it to them in their head. So they're reading it out to them mentally at the same time, even though it's just their eyes doing it. So having done that, you will easily pick up on anything that might make the ad feel weird or unnatural or feel too much like an ad. So I think those are probably the two things I would recommend.
Mm. Um, while you were speaking, I was thinking about which one, and I'm so curious on if you have any favorite brand that is having a great tagline, and you are somehow envy on them that you didn't came with that idea.
So, I mean, a tagline or approach is one thing, but I think everyone has a unique approach. Every company does. So just because someone else does something that sounds good as well, it also doesn't mean that it would work for you. And I challenge marketers to actually speak more with their target audience, or at least get as close to the customer as possible, and to try and draw their ideas for their ad themes and variations from them, from what their customers actually like, or what their customers tell them that they enjoy about the product, what delivers that transformation. So to there's so many great things that other companies do, but at the same time, I challenge people to try and look inwards, to look as deep as possible, because there's some amazing things that are often hiding under the surface.
Great. And then thank you very much. I hope this help our audience understand how to create better social media ads that meets their audiences and their target audiences needs and desires. And this was the episode for today. I hope it helped you. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share it, don't forget to comment on it, and can't wait to meet you on the next episode. And then again, thank you very much.
No
I
worries.
will let the link below where to find Eden. And if you are as a copywriter, a social media copywriter, a performance marketer, a designer, you need to follow Eden on LinkedIn, because her 1 minute conversion copywriting tips on a weekly basis, they are just like heavenly sent ideas. So then again, thank you very much. And
No
that was
worries.
all.
That's all right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.